Hi there and welcome to another programme of The People's Art. I'm Melissa Latouche and we have a fantastic lineup today as usual. Remember, this is your show and your artwork, so send in your art and videos to art@thepeoplesvoice.tv. We have Fay Vale in the studio today, who is a contemporary artist, fine artist. She is self-taught painter who says she receives her work from other dimensions. Hi Fay.
Hi there.
How are you doing? Thanks for coming today. You have many of your artworks which we'll talk about today.
Yes.
Can you talk a bit about your background and what brought you to this type of art, please?
I just come from an ordinary background. I was born in Leicester. 7 years ago, I just woke up one morning and I just had this overwhelming urge to start drawing with my left hand, as I'm a right-handed person. And it was so pronounced that I just got paper and did it. And there are some of my examples of when my first work came through, and it was just like a 2-year-old's sort of drawing that you would get. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know how I got it. My hands seemed to just move automatically, but most of it was just scribbling for a start, and it just started off with a small thing like that and then progressed to what I do now.
So do you feel like it's a good way of accessing the right brain?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I have a friend who's been suffering from depression, and we had a bit of a talk, and she's actually an artist, and I did say to her, try drawing with your other hand, and she just went like that, and she felt really uplifted, because it was like the whole thing that was holding her down was being released on the paper by doing that. So it has healing properties as well, I would say.
You say you channel your work. Tell us a bit more about that.
I didn't realise that I was channeling, and because I draw every single day, it's just part of my day that I have to put things on paper. Sometimes I just get writing, but I didn't really realise that I was channeling, because I never showed anyone my work for 2 years because of what we first talked about spirituality and not being yourself to other people. So I never showed my work to anyone. And then a friend came one day and I mentioned my drawings, and she said, oh, I'd love to see them. So I showed them to her, and she said, where did they come from? And I said, I don't know, I just do them. And she said, you do know you're channeling, don't you? And I said, well, no, I don't know. That's how innocent it is, because I didn't even realise that I was doing it that way. All I knew was that I did it, and it just appeared.
So what sort of things do you channel?
Sometimes I get ancient history. I have channelled drawings of Egyptians and pharaohs and different places that they're built. I've had writings and drawings about things and then they're suddenly becoming aware of. I had drawings 4 years ago about people who lived under the earth. Now they're just discovering the cities. So very often the things I get will appear eventually.
Good. So you're talking. Let's go back to the written words that you were talking about. You have a notepad over here with something that you've channeled. Talk to me a bit about that one. Thank you.
That's quite recent, actually. I channelled that about 4 months ago, and it's just some sort of ancient writing or hieroglyphic writing. I don't know what it is myself. It'd be nice if somebody else recognised it, maybe, but I don't know.
Anyone else who recognises that, they can contact you and let you know what this is about. Thanks.
So I don't know whether I don't know whether it's an ancient language. It's a language from another planet, or another being or another dimension. But that came quite quickly, actually. It just came within, that came within less than 15 minutes.
Wow. So how do you feel when you're channeling these writings?
It's like you still know what's going on round about you, but it's like your mind goes blank to what you're doing. So I can be drawing, but I don't know what I'm drawing, but also I'm doing something else. I can watch TV or have a conversation with somebody and draw at the same time because I don't have a proper shape to go by. Say like if somebody said to you, draw a bus, you'd start drawing a bus. But when I start, it's probably be a little spot or something, and then it just develops from around that until most times I don't realise what the picture is till it's complete.
Let's talk about the picture that you've got here. You've drawn this with your left hand, yeah?
No, that's right-handed.
This one's right-handed.
But I did it that way up,
okay.
Which was like a landscape, and
Yeah.
I can't say as I've drawn a landscape before, but it seemed quite odd that I was drawing a landscape. But I completed it, and my writing pad was that way up. I turned my pad round to shut it up and put it away. And that's when I realised that there was actually people on it.
That's amazing. So when do you feel that you're finished with a painting while you're receiving the information?
I just have this feeling that it's finished. And if I went and added anything on, that would be my own mind taking over. I have noticed that I have done that on occasion. You draw something and you recognise it, so you tend to start. As soon as that happens, it usually fills it in or scribbles it out because I'm not meant to have an input in it, basically.
And what mediums do you use, and how do you choose the mediums?
That's just, the black and white is just a normal gel pen, what you write with.
Okay.
And,
wow.
The other's just pastel art. Yeah. Because I do find that with the pastel I can just put the colour on and use my fingers, which means it's not manipulated in any way and it just comes freely.
Talk a bit about the area that you're from, Glastonbury. Do you get any inspiration from that area?
Oh, the energy there is amazing. Yeah. You do feel the energy, and it's so diverse there that you can do what you like, basically. And if there's a field that you're interested in, then you can go into it, and there's no question, because it's all there. But also, it's so beautiful around there. It's absolutely stunning, and it just feeds your energy.
Do you feel like it's the sacred landmarks that are there?
Oh, definitely. That adds to everything. It's just got that air of magic, and it's a wonderful place to live. It's very inspiring.
Yeah. And you said you lived in Leicester before. How long have you been in Glastonbury?
Only 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. I lived in in Lincolnshire before that.
Do you feel like you were drawn there?
Oh, definitely. I went down once with my friend. She was going to Glastonbury and my husband was working, so she said, come with me. So I went, and I went back home and I said, I need to go and live down there. And John said, well, I don't really want to move. And it was so strong that I said, well, I'm sorry, I'll go on my own. So we did end up moving down together, actually. But
that's good.
It's so beautiful down there. You get up in the morning and when the weather's nice, it's just stunning. It takes your breath away. And of course, there's the magic of the Glastonbury tour, and Chalice Well, so beautiful and inspirational.
Thanks, Fay. We'll be back with Fay a little later, but now we're off to see one of your videos.
If you're lucky, the first time your eyes open, you fall in love as you see the image of a beautiful angel who adores you and loves you and cares for you. hoping that one day you'll be able to do these things for her, that you'll be able to return the favor. As you grow up, she teaches you all the things that she knows, all the things that have been taught to her by her parents, and the things she learned and experienced in the society she was brought up in. And then the day comes that you gotta break it off with her and go into the real world and experience things for yourself. You've gotta experience the world as it's become. In this society, you find like-minded people. You find friends and groups that share the ideologies that you've confined yourself to. You share ideas and discuss and express your points of view about the world and the way you think things work. You get an education to be successful. You work at a job that takes all your creativity and freedom away, but that's nothing compared to the loneliness that you feel in your life at this point. And the empty place, the void inside of you. You look for the perfect mate to fill that void, and when you think you find it, all hell breaks loose. Your lover leaves you and breaks every atom of your being. You force yourself to walk the cold, lonely streets, selling yourself like a piece of meat to people in bars and clubs just to reduce the pain. And finally, when you've become so tired of all of this, you might find the one you wanted all along. You might start to love again. You might even get married. But after a while, you become bored and tired again. Lost once again are the fires of love that you had. So you have kids to give meaning to your lives again. And what do? You teach them the things that your mother taught you, in the hopes that eventually they'll return the favor when you become alone again.
Remember the email address to send your work in, art@thepeoplesvoice.tv. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back to talk some more with Fay about her work. Welcome back. We're here with fine artist Fay Vale. Hello, Fay.
Hi there.
We're going to go through some of your paintings in more detail.
I see.
Now, this one, could you explain to me a bit about how it was channeled to you and what the meaning of this painting is?
This lady came quite freely, and a lot of my work that comes quickly like that comes from other planets, other dimensions, and she's actually a being from another planet, another universe, another dimension, and this is called seeking integration. What it actually is getting at is that there is other life forms, there is other unexplained things that we may never know in a lifetime, but then we may do, but we can communicate sometimes, and they're not always necessary. Going to be a threat to our planet, our life, or whatever. And the thing that this drawing needs to get across is that integration, seeking integration, is the same as two countries at war shaking hands. And instead of fighting each other, they're actually combining their powers and energies to build something better.
Yeah, definitely a message that needs to be within all races, all animals.
That's right, that's right. Yes, animal kingdom comes into it as well, because there's so many atrocities go on with animals nowadays that we need to stop seeing greed and power and money, and we need to see the beauty of nature and what we're given freely.
Definitely. Do you choose what colours you use, or
No.
if you do use colour?
Those are always black and white, but believe it or not, a couple of people who I know actually see the colours in them.
Shall we move on to your next painting? Okay. So tell me a bit about the background of this painting. And
this painting's called Innocence, and quite a few of my pastel paintings, they bring forward feelings rather than actual. and he's called Innocence, and the colours and the movement in the picture is like a veil of innocence, and that's what he's about.
And the colours that you use, do they have any relevance to the
I
message?
don't choose the colours. Whatever colour I pick up is the colour that's meant to be on there. So if I did that, then I wouldn't be doing it freely, because my mind's choosing the colours. Whatever my fingers pick up, I use.
So who is the person in this picture, would you say?
It's everybody's child. It's all of us. We're all innocent when we're born on the earth, and it's a thing that a lot of people can lose, a lot of people can use, but it's another one of our gifts, and all children are innocent, same as animals. Animals are innocent, and it's only worldly matters that change that.
When do you think is the age that you lose your innocence?
I think maybe it's all according to the family atmosphere or the family union that you're brought up in. If a child's put into poverty at a young age, then he may steal, he may do things that he wouldn't normally do, but that's because survival's kicked in, and then survival takes over his innocence.
Okay. So should we move on to the next painting that you have here?
This was actually my first pastel picture.
Okay.
And he's called Vision. Everyone in life has a vision, whether it's the vision of who you want to be when you grow up, the vision of how good you want to be, the vision of the character you want to be, or how you want to portray yourself to somebody else or the rest of the world. So we're all born with vision, and the many colours, traits in life, I would imagine, and there's dark sides to life, there's bright sides, there's green sides, there's pink for love, and vision takes all that in, and the movement on it is just, it's a bit like an aura really, but a swirling aura, because it's vision.
Do you believe that having no training enabled you to be more creative?
Oh, definitely, because don't get me wrong, training can inspire people and set them off to do more things, but also not being trained is sort of like being a virgin subject, if you know what I mean, because I've not got no portrayal of how things should be, which makes me accept more what I get. Or what's given to me.
Yeah, do you believe that institutes can condition?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I have this thing that we're all barcoded when we're born, because we're told what sex we are, we're given a name, we're told where we live, and as we go along in life, we learn all these things, and they're all taught to us, but a lot of the things that are not taught, sort of spirituality, channeling art, those are the things that sort of get hidden under what we're told, and because I'm not a really educated person, I just had normal schooling, that gives me more freedom to be the person I am, or should be.
That's nice. Let's go on to this painting. Tell me a bit about this one and the process of it.
This is called Rebirth. Rebirth's all about emotion again, as connected to those two. And lots of people go through traumatic experiences in their life where they get to rock bottom. And there comes a point where you have to either get up and face it and rebirth, which rebirth is just gathering up your stale energy that you're getting rid of. Get rid of it. Gather up new energy and go forward, and be the strong person that you used to be. What I always say is the person you admire is you. And a lot of people lose that along the way. So it's like I'm being given the information, I'm putting it on paper, canvas or whatever, and it's just, that's all I do.
Thank you, Faye. Thank you so much. Now let's have a look at some of that wonderful work that you've been sending in over in the gallery. Keep that work coming in. Now we're off to see a video. That was a great video. Thanks for sending that in. So Faye, it was brilliant having you here. Thank you so much for explaining all of your work to us.
I'd like to thank Art at the People's Voice for allowing me to do this. It's a great honour for me to bring my work in.
Thank you. So that's it for another fantastic People's Art Show. See you next week.